Congratulations, you finally made it to 4 p.m. You know what that means. Happy hour. It's time to kick back, relax, and dive into the world of sports with the Young and Norvelle Show. Whether you're catching up on the latest scores, analyzing the big plays, or gearing up for tonight's games, we've got you covered. So grab a cold one, settle in, and let's talk sports. Here they are, Patrick Young and Terry Norvelle.
All right, here we go. We are kicking things off on a Hump Day Wednesday edition. Got a big old table right in front of us. Brent Beaird,
as we usually do.
Terry Norvelle. We're coming to you from our Wednesday home. You know it by now. We are always on Hump Day at Twin Peaks at the intersection of Atlantic Boulevard and, of course, Kernan. We are here during happy hour 4 to 6. They rock and roll. How about today, September 4th? One of their days this month is Brew Days. Brew Day is back every Wednesday this August and September. We're celebrating one of the most beloved things, beer. They're celebrating beer right here at Twin Peaks. And you don't mind, am I buying? Somebody hollering, are you buying? Hey, watch her. Keep an eye on her right there. Security, keep an eye on this one right here. It's broad daylight, and she's screaming about me buying her a beer. Here we go.
Yes.
But they've always got something going on. Great menu, great specials here at Twin Peaks. Patrick Young will join us. I'm Terry Norvelle. He's Brent Beaird. Pat will join us about 4:30. A lot to talk about, Brent, on a rainy Wednesday.
Yeah.
A little rainy, but the temperature, Brent.
Thank God. It's a break, but I tell you, Terry, there's a lot of flooding around town.
I know.
From being here for a long time as you have, you understand that. They're just. My understanding was Bowdoin University. I talked to a woman a few minutes ago that said she was on university for 3 hours this morning.
Not good. And, we've got, because of where we're in the South, we're in Florida, the sea level is about our level.
Yes.
We got some just built-in low-level areas.
We do.
If it rains a little bit. So be careful out there and navigate safely, we hope. A lot to talk about today on the program, college football. The NFL gets started tomorrow. Jaguars on Sunday. I think it's a tough trip to Miami.
It is.
There's
no doubt about that.
I think the Jaguars, I don't know if it's a good time to ever catch the Miami offense, but it appears they've held Tyreek Hill, they've held Jalen Waddle out as kind of a workload thing to make them healthy.
Sure.
I think Miami's offense, the Jaguars are going to catch the full bore of it week 1. Week 3, week 8, week 9, maybe you catch a couple guys banged up, injured. I think Miami's ready to go. It's going to be a tough one in Miami for the Jaguars, I think.
And Tua has kind of found himself.
Yeah, with a big contract.
And he and those receivers, I mean, it's not just one. You've got multiple receivers. And then when you got the passing game going, you're able to run the ball a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, anybody going down there at 1 o'clock on Sunday will probably be a little toasty, would you think?
How toasty and wet will it be? And you spent time in Miami. I have as well. We were all in Gainesville Saturday, and Gainesville, middle of the state, hot, sometimes no breeze, a dry, just uncomfortable hot. Miami's tropical.
Yes.
That's 5 hours down, man.
No
That's
doubt.
going to be one of those. Bring your gold bond with you, if you know what I mean, right? And wet and hot.
Yeah. And they've got a covering a little bit, right?
So.
That extends out.
I think they've tried to add that, which I think the Stadium of the Future is going to try to have that. But, I'm a little worried about the Jaguar opener. I just think they're catching the Dolphins at a bad time. And
Absolutely.
I get it. The Jaguars are pretty healthy. I mean, it could have been a worse injury camp for the Jaguars. They're pretty healthy, but I don't know if they can score with the with the Dolphins. I just don't know. We got a lot of college football to talk about. Brent, we had you on yesterday a little bit, and we couldn't get deep into some stuff. But, man, it's a mess in Gainesville. It's a double mess in Tallahassee. There's talk about Tallahassee. Not that they're going to pull the plug on Mike Norvelle, but, my God, they've got him to the tune of about $95 million tied up through 2021. Billy Napier, his buyout, and I think Florida has to do something. I think the Gators are caught up in a situation where even if somehow, and this is a terrible way to be about your favorite football program, terrible way to be. I'm now to the point, Brent Beaird, and I want you to comment on this. if Florida put in DJ Lagway had some magical games, stole a game or three. They won 2 or 3 they're supposed to win. If the Gators looked up and won 6, 7 games, a lot of people say, okay, that buys Napier another year. I don't think that's the right move. I think that would be fool's gold. I hate to feel like that, but you've had a couple of 48 hours to digest. Florida State, the Noles especially, a physical beatdown. 0-3 combined right out of the gate. It feels like the year's over for the Gators and the Seminoles.
See, that's when you're looking at a situation. If you can't block your opponent, you're in a lot of trouble.
Football's no fun.
In this defensive line for FSU was supposed to be one of the better ones anywhere, and they are not able to stop anybody. Look, Bill O'Brien, when he wants to be, is a pretty good football coach.
That was a slaughter.
It really was.
Monday night, I don't mean to cut you off. Monday night, the college game, FSU hosting Boston College. Once it was pretty much determined, and I think it was early, that the two rosters were comparable.
Yeah.
FSU didn't have a lot of size or speed advantage over Boston College. Boston College had nice players.
Yeah, they
had big, strong linemen, and they had good skill position. Once that was determined that it was a push, roster versus roster, talent versus talent, I thought Monday night it came down to an NFL staff, Boston College, Bill O'Brien, undressed a college staff.
Yeah.
I mean, O'Brien's got Doug Marrone and guys like this. They're NFL coaches.
Yeah, they are.
I thought they undressed FSU's college staff.
Yeah, and look, the stat, I don't care how complex we want to make football, Terry, when you can run and stop the run, there's a lot you can do.
Game.
When you can't, it is a long night. But here's BC with what, like 225 rushing.
Oh, they were 260.
And that was just 1 point in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, they were.
Then they went up to about
260,
almost 270. And then here's Florida State at 1 point with less than 25 late in the game.
Yeah.
That
terrible.
It is.
Just terrible. Getting back to Florida, and I want to get back to something I've said for a long time on the air. Now, let me be fair. I misjudged Florida. I thought Florida.
I think we all did.
I thought Florida's offensive line was going to be. I thought they were underrated. They were going to be good. I thought the Gators were 2 or 3 more wins than the national guys. I want to say right now, I misjudged Florida. With that said, I've said for a million years, when you break down the college game versus the NFL game from a coaching standpoint, I've said it, Brent Beaird, and I want you to comment on it. The college football game, it's much more important to have the right college football head coach than necessarily the NFL. And let me qualify that. I'm not saying the NFL you can win with a bad coach. What I'm saying is the structure of the NFL, you can have an average football coach in the NFL. He can be solid, maybe not the best, maybe not the worst. The NFL structure is you can have an average NFL coach if your organization can cover him.
Yes.
Okay. What I mean by that is you've got pro player personnel, a department in your organization in the NFL. Those are guys that look at the other players on the other teams and the other practice. Okay. Pro player personnel. If you've got a good scouting department, if you've got a really quality financial department, salary cap department, all of those parts of your organization can cover for an average coach. And you can win a lot of games. Maybe not the Super Bowl, but you can win at a high level in the NFL. In college, it's incumbent that your head coach is really good because your head coach in college runs all that.
Yes.
He puts his stamp on that. He recruits his type of player. He now handles who gets the money. In college football, if you don't have the right coach, it's much more damaging than in the NFL. Your thoughts on that?
In the NFL, it's more important to have an elite quarterback than it is to have an elite coach.
Well said. Well said.
Well said. And you look at who's going to the playoffs right now, what they've got in that area, in the college ranks. If you've got the right guy, everything else trickles down.
Really does.
Meaning, if you've got the right guy, he is raising money.
Yep.
He is recruiting. He's
telling his scouts on Friday night what type of player to go look at.
Absolutely.
What type of player we want.
Right.
So he's running player personnel.
Sure.
Scouting.
Yes.
He's now saying who we're going to pay and who we're not. So he's running salary cap.
Yes.
That college guy, you better have the right guy in place, because if you don't, his fingerprints are on everything. If you don't have the great NFL guy, you got an average guy, the organization can cover for him.
Sure,
to a
it can.
degree.
Yeah, and the elite players can. Now the reality is, this is why everybody wanted Nick Saban's assistants, and now they want Kirby Smart's assistants.
Well said. Well said. Their case history is they learn how to put the right fingerprints on the program from Nick Saban. Where do you stand? I'm going to be honest. I stand, if the Florida Gators turn this around, if DJ Lagway turned into a special guy that won a couple games this year that Florida shouldn't win, if the Gators' record at the end of the year was 7-5, they went to a bowl game. With all that said, where I stand, I don't want to put words in your mouth, Brent Beaird, I still think Florida and Napier need to part ways. I just don't think he's the right guy for the job.
Yeah.
What say you, Brent Beaird?
I like Billy, but because you like somebody and as a coach doesn't mean you need to keep them. What's going to be crucial for him these next 3 games, Samford and A&M, and the really crucial game, and people haven't thought about this yet, is going to Mississippi State.
Yes.
Because if you go to State and you lose to a first-year coach,
forget it.
In Starkville,
forget it.
Your season basically is over.
But your converse point, I think, and you can say you're a grown man, you say what you want. Florida's 0-1. Get the win Saturday. Nobody cares. Hardly anybody's going to watch. There'll be 60,000 in the stands. It'll be apathetic, if that's the word.
Yes.
Blah, blah, blah. You get the win, you're 1-1. If you can come back at home and get A&M, you're 2-1. You catch your breath.
Sure you do.
Right. You go to Starkville. If you can get that one, you're 3-1. Okay.
And then you got to bye a week.
Tennessee's going to be tough. But with all that said, if things fell better than worse for the Gators, and they carved out a 7-5, I still don't think he's the guy.
Well,
now I think it would be easier to hire a new guy.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be easier to keep talent or bring in talent. I just don't think Billy Napier's the guy. I think he's over his head.
Well, here's 3 things here. When you make the change, you can't play around. They've got to go and get a sitting head coach that has a lot of experience and is a winner.
Yes.
You can't go get an assistant. You can't go get somebody from the non-Power 5
and hope you hit a home run.
You can't do that anymore in Florida. And tell me what you think about this. It may be much deeper than the coach.
Could be.
There may be this may go deeper into the athletic department than we would imagine. I mean, certainly you hear stuff like that. Now, the silliest rumor I've heard today and saw it, maybe you did too.
What was that?
Is Urban wants to come back and coach, but he wants to come back and do it right now. He thinks he can win 9 games.
When you say right now, what right now do you mean right now?
I mean like
yesterday.
Yes.
That would be unprecedented.
Yeah, it would be. But
you asked me what I think.
But you can't do that.
If the University of Florida came to Terry Norvelle and said, Terry, what do we do? What are your thoughts?
Mm-hmm.
I would have a couple questions. My first question is, how deep do you want to get in this?
Yes.
And when I say how deep, they paid Billy Napier they grabbed and clawed and added, and they paid him $7 million. I think he got 7.1. He got $100,000 after year one. They paid him $7 million 2.5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
The going rate 2.5 years ago to talk to an A-lister, and you know what I mean by that?
I'm sure.
Was 9-10.
Right.
Saban was at 12, and Kirby got 13.
Yeah, absolutely.
So 2.5 years ago, Florida barely got out of the $6 million range to cobble together. My first question to Florida, and I don't know their answer, is how deep do you want to get in this?
Yeah.
Because the only way an A-lister, kind of a guy that you talked about, an established guy, a guy that knows what he's doing, a guy with a name, a guy with panache, the only way today, now this was 2.5 years ago when they cobbled together 7 to get Billy. And he was a small school guy, and they bought some hope.
Yes.
They were buying hope.
Right.
If the University of Florida comes back and says, Terry, we're not going to do $10 million. That's the minimum industry standard for an A-list guy to have his agent pick up the phone.
Yes.
So my first question is, Florida UF administration, how deep do you want to be in it? If they say, we can talk $10 million, I go, okay, I know who I can call. I don't know who I can call with less than $10 million.
No, I agree with that.
Right?
Yes.
Number 2.
Yes.
Just because I get $10 million in my hand, and I can call the A-list guys out there, the program is in a rebuild mode.
Yes.
That still may bite Florida because I'll use Lane Kiffin. I would Army crawl to get him to Gainesville. A lot of people feel the same way. If Lane Kiffin and his agent hear that Florida's throwing around $10 million, they may say, okay, one ear's up, but your program is not you still need 2 or 3 years to rebuild. I don't know if Lane Kiffin wants to rebuild. He may go, money's money, but I just rebuilt Ole Miss.
Yes.
So there's another angle to play. Does the hotshot guy look at Florida and go, I know you can turn around quick, but it's still going to take a couple. They got 2 things working against them.
Yeah,
the rebuild and do they have the money that they're going to spend?
But Florida has got, let me say this, and I give Tom Luganville credit for this. Luganville said 2 or 3 years ago, Ohio State, Alabama, Clemson, and Georgia went all in with football.
They sure did.
And they gave the edict that we want everybody from the president to the janitorial staff to be involved with this.
Pushed them all in.
Yes, and when you and they went all in, and you see what it's done for them
from top to bottom.
Yes.
And you know what? I didn't know it was Luganville. Thank you for clearing that up. I do remember that quote, and he basically said, we want our head janitor needs to be making head janitor money.
Yep.
Our head field painter needs to be making number 1 field painter money because we're going to be the number 1 program top down.
Right.
And rattle off, and I know Clemson's going through a battle, but Clemson also has a little hardware in that up.
Sure,
they've got some hardware in that trophy case to show off.
Yeah.
You said Ohio State,
Alabama, Georgia, Clemson. Yeah. Now think about how many national championship, conference championship trophies that would be. Because see right now.
And you talk about ROI, return on. Okay.
Yes.
Luganville was saying those 4 pushed all in. What came back into their pocket?
Well, and look, I've always said Nick Saban in Alabama, and to this day, he was a bargain because you're paying Nick Saban $10 to $12 million, but what he provided for that city and that university was probably what, Terry? You can argue. Did you see the stat?
Absolutely.
His former players now have accumulated $1 billion in the NFL.
How about that?
And if he's done that in the NFL, he's done that for that university.
And you know what? I think Kalen DeBoer is the deal.
Yes, I think he is too.
I think he's going to hit the ground running at Alabama, and is. But the next 2 or 3 years, if Alabama throws another 11, 12, 13, 14 win season, 11, 12, 13, 14, 11, 12, 13, 14, I put that under Nick Saban's
yes.
ledger.
Sure you did. Sure you would.
Doesn't that still go for your ROI on Nick frickin' Saban?
There's no question.
You pushed in and he pushed back.
And see, the other thing, I'm using Alabama as an example here, where this is going is their basketball team now in the latest Lindy's edition is number one.
Yeah, interesting.
And their baseball team is doing real well. Softball team is doing real well.
Yeah, you said.
So at some point, when you go all in on football, it trickles down to every other aspect of the university. And I know I've said this before. When Saban was in Alabama, from the time he got there, the time that he retired, the student population in Alabama basically doubled.
Sounds like Bobby Bowden.
Can you put it?
Florida State.
Listen,
put a dollar figure on that.
People don't understand that. How much money would that be, Terry?
Yeah. I think we got Dr. Bates here. Dr. Bates from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists is a little early because, Doc, hey, buddy, how you doing? I know you're about to get on a plane. We've got Patrick Young as well with a good-looking hat. Hey, Doc, I want to get to our Southeast Orthopedic Specialist sports medicine discussion, number one. But first of all, hey, let me tell you something. Nobody just knocks around Towson State, the Tigers, by 31.5, okay? They hung in there.
Right.
Your boys fell to Cincinnati by 18, not 31.5, my man. I'm very proud of your team.
You know they were down by 8 at halftime, right?
How about that? Down by 8 at half, the Tigers.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. They just didn't score a point in the second half. That's the problem.
Okay, well, you're down by 8 at halftime. Hey, Doc, I know you're not a trauma surgeon. You're an orthopedic surgeon, Southeast Orthopedic Specialist. We understand what you do, what your organization is all about. Ricky Pearsall, former Gator receiver, tragic story over the weekend that could have been really bad. Gets shot in a holdup, gets shot somewhere in the upper chest area. Doc, A, what'd you think when you heard that? And B, I guess he got incredibly lucky. The bullet goes out of his back. He's released within 24 hours in the weight room, and it looks like he's going to miss 4 weeks on the non-football injury. Was that just a situation of a divine bullet that maybe a low caliber that just didn't hit anything? How does that happen, Doc?
Yeah, when I first heard of it, I thought to myself, man, this could be really bad.
Ooh.
But then when you continue to hear the news coming out that, didn't really hit anything, they missed the heart, they missed the lungs, they missed the great vessels, they missed the brachial plexus, all those things that could end your life or end your career.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just really, really lucky. And it was a bullet, it was a clean through and through. And so it's really just some minor soft tissue damage that he just got to, get over and come back from. And, they're saying 4 weeks, I bet the guy is going to feel better in 2. So he's lucky.
Doc, how does that go through? And I don't know the anatomy real well. How does that not hit a rib or rib cage or something chest to back? How does that happen?
Well, he certainly has God on his side because you don't hear too many of those, chest mass shot that didn't hit anything of importance. It must have been the angle and the entry point and all of that. Yeah, it's a pretty amazing.
Wow, I've got a couple more questions. And, Doc, I know you're about to get on a plane. We'll let you get going here in a quick second. Patrick may have a question. Brent Beaird may have a question. Georgia, one of their best players, who's rated as the number 2 player really on defense in the country. Michael Williams, grade 2 ankle. Georgia doesn't have a big, heavy schedule. I always mix up my grades. Are the lower numbers worse or the higher numbers worse? He's got a grade 2 ankle sprain, I guess. They don't think it's that serious. He's a big-time player, a top 5 type pick. Where is a grade 2 ankle sprain?
So, as you go higher in the numbers, they're worse.
Okay.
Grade 1 is really minor. Grade 2, that's a week or 2 maybe. he may be able to play next week in a brace, those types of things. So, grade 3 is when you get up, more of the high ankle sprain type region. And so those are things that you really don't want. But, grade 2 ankle sprain, depending on who they're playing, may sit out this week and then come back next week.
Yeah, I think they've got Tennessee Tech, maybe Georgia.
Yes.
Nobody big. Pat, I don't know if you've got a question for Doc. I don't want to keep him real long. Doc, we do want to know, I may have teased this a little bit last week, but do you have can you whip out your prescription pad and give any type of prescription to Bruised Ego for Gator fans and Seminole fans? A lot of bruised egos going on right
buddy.
now. Doc, you got anything for that?
I don't know, man. This is, it shows you that you can get all the talent in the world, but if you don't put it together and haven't played together, it's just not going to work. It's just not going to work. So
not good.
We'll see what happens throughout the season.
Oh, Brent, you might have something, I think.
Yeah, I do. Dr. Bates, first of all, thank you for all you do for us. Graham Merce, the Florida quarterback, had a concussion on Saturday. Can you take us through what they're doing for him this week as far as treatment and what you would expect to get him back on the playing field?
So basically, in the beginning, it's a little bit of brain rest and not doing much of anything. And then you start to go into some controlled type activities where you're trying to see what his response is to just getting on a treadmill for a little bit, just getting on a stationary bike for a little bit, and then doing more intense type activities, see how he responds. If he's still having those type symptoms, dizziness, some effect from the light, things like that. We call it photophobia, those types of things. And so as he continues to do more and more, and he's not having as many symptoms, then we know more how he'll do the following week. It also depends on the how severe the concussion is and all of that. What were his symptoms when he first had them? There are minor concussions and then there are major concussions, and those kind of predict how well you respond. We kind of went away from just total brain rest and not doing anything. We know now that a little bit of exertion kind of helps you recover, but how much so we don't know. That has to be very controlled.
Interesting, Doc. I know in your profession, and we could say this in about a lot of eras of time and professions, but guys in your profession must look back and think, and we were just talking about concussions in sports. You must look back and think, my God, the 90s with equipment and what medical staffs and coaches did, the 80s and equipment, the 70s and equipment, and what was turn your head on. You guys must look back and go, my God, was that barbaric in the 50s and 60s. Barely a helmet. The coach just kind of said, hey, how many fingers? Get back in there.
That's right. That's right.
You guys must look back and go, my God, we've come a long way.
Right. We used to call them dings back there. You just had a ding or a head bonk or something like that, and nobody cared about your symptoms afterwards or whatnot. You figure if you were standing, you can go. And you weren't seeing any, blurry images.
If you're standing, you can go.
Yeah.
And Doc, you remember as a player, and all of us old guys here, outside of our producer Zach, if you were standing and you didn't go, you got called a dirty word a lot of times by the head coach. You got called a dirty word.
Right. Different culture these days. Yeah.
Soft.
It is. Hey,
soft.
Doc, thanks, buddy.
Was that dirty word
Doc,
soft?
I know you're traveling.
Wait, I got one
Go
for
ahead,
him.
Pat.
Yeah, this one's it's a pretty complex one because I talked with Coach Donovan a little while recently, and Lonzo Ball, he's been dealing with meniscus issues for the last 2 years, and actually he got a meniscus transplant. And from what what Coach Donovan told me, that the surgeon that did, he's like, I would do this on a person that was 50 years old that's trying to get back to mowing the grass.
Because now we know we can save
7-year-old trying to get back to basketball.
Right. So now we know we can actually save the knee a little bit more by having a meniscus that protects the articular cartilage. That's why we're so much more vigilant with meniscus repairs versus just kind of taking out the meniscus if we don't really need to. And so, meniscus transplant can be a very good procedure to preserve the integrity of the knee joint. Most definitely.
All right, guys. Doc, I'll let you go. We don't have time.
Are they literally taking it out?
What'd you say there?
Okay.
You broke up.
Go ahead. I'll ask him next time.
Okay, yeah.
I was going to say, are they literally just cutting it out from a cadaver and then just like putting it into a new person, the patient's knee? And then...
It's the same. It's the same as all the other grafts that we use that come from cadavers, like ACL. Some ACL grafts we take from cadavers, like cadaver tendons and stuff like that. It's the same thing. But yeah, so they're clean, they're sterilized, they go through this processing and all that. It's very safe. Yeah, and it works well.
All right, Dr. Bates, everybody right now, including all the attorneys that are listening and watching, they are noting this down, and it's on the record. Dr. Bates, you and I want to go into business with you. I have discovered, we don't have time to get into it today. You're about to get on a plane. I have discovered the ultimate stretch that will heal foot plantar fascia, if I'm pronouncing that
fasciitis.
Mm-hmm. Fasciitis. And I've been suffering it from my left heel. I have stumbled onto the stretch that will fix it. I want it to be called the Norvelle stretch. I'm not going to tell you yet. When we got more time, Doc, are you with me? We're going in business.
I'm with you, buddy.
All right.
I'm with you. Yeah.
We're down. Every one of you attorneys. What do they call that? Fiduciary responsibility. You just heard me, attorneys. Yes. So your fiduciary responsibility is to sign up me and Dr. Bates. We're going to make a fortune.
Gotcha. Billable hours.
Gotcha. Billable hours. We got it. All right, Doc. Safe travels.
All right, buddy.
We'll do it. Thank you, buddy.
Go Ravens.
Go. Thank you.
He snuck that in. How about that? He's a Towson State guy. I mean, I don't know if you ever met Dr. Bates. He's a big, strong dude. I mean, he's a good-looking, younger than his age, beautiful wife, beautiful family. He's a football player now.
So he's Patrick Young, good-looking.
He's Patrick Young, good-looking. Good friends with Mike Loxley at Maryland. They're good friends.
Yes.
But, Doc played at Towson State.
Yes. Wow.
And they were a 31.5-point underdog against
Maryland.
Who did that? They played who the heck did they?
Cincinnati.
Yeah, thank you, Patrick. And they were ahead in that game like at the half. They were down 8 at the half. Man. They were ahead in the second quarter. They lost by 18. You don't just roll in Towson State and beat them by 31 and a half.
Don't. No
all
way.
Right? Patrick, Towson State, the Tigers, you don't just beat them by 31 and a half. You may beat them by 18 when it's over. Like they beat them 38-20. But not by 31 and a half, Patrick.
Absolutely not.
What kind of hat is that, Pat? We're going to break.
Gosh.
I see a dad hat. What do we got there?
Yeah, it's a dad hat. I got this on game day, actually. And actually, I got a really funny story leading up to tease into the next hour. I can't wait to talk about it.
Okay.
But this hat, after you left, I went up to the 6th floor and ran into this awesome family in one of their boxes, and guy had this hat on. I said, "Hey man, I really like your hat." And he just gave it to me, and I had him sign it. And then his son was there. His son is probably 4 or 5 months old, and I said, "Hey man, it'd be really cool if you can get your son to do a little outline around his hand." And as you can imagine, the 5-month-old was having no parts of it.
No.
Yeah, really.
So
nice hat.
it doesn't look, if you can tell, it doesn't look like a hand at all.
Is the hat white and blue, or is it white and black? I can't tell.
It's white and black.
White and black, yeah. Looks good. Looks crisp. Let's take a break, boy.
Yeah,
Patrick
picked up my daughter today, and she loved it, and she wants a daughter hat, so I got to figure that out how to find one of those.
Oh, they always cost money, don't they? They always cost money. Let's take a break here, Brent. As we go to break, Pat and I watched the game together in Gainesville in the press box. I don't think the Miami coaching staff is getting enough credit.
They're not.
I know Mario Cristobal. He's caught a little flack.
Yes.
He's caught a little flack from Gator fan, Seminole fan. Oh, he's overrated. I don't know if it was Mario, his staff, the coaches, the players buying in. I was ultimately impressed with Miami's approach, their coaching staff, their decisiveness. compared to Florida, it was a Chinese fire drill on Florida's sideline.
Cam Ward was the first game with Miami. Looked like he'd been there for a couple of seasons.
Yes.
Right, Pat?
And they called.
Oh my gosh.
They structured their offense, did the Hurricanes, and they called plays to emphasize the talent of their players, if that makes sense. A lot of coaches and staffs just call plays. These are our plays. We run it. Let's pigeonhole. They called misdirection because Cam's good about going left and coming right. Miami's coaching staff, that may be their high water mark. They coached their ass off Saturday in Gainesville.
Sure did.
They had a good plan, and they were busy for 7 months. And I don't know if Miami's coaching staff has got enough credit for that.
And they need to. I had a consultant friend of mine. I mentioned this yesterday, but I'll say it real quick before we go to break. He was rewatching the game and said that there were way too many plays where the back end of the Florida defense, they were still talking.
Literally.
They were still. Did you see that?
It's unbelievable.
They were still talking to each other.
Did we see it? Ask Patrick.
It
was unbelievable.
When they looked up or turned around,
the snap was.
The play was either the player was either right in front of them or going past them.
It was shocking how many defensive snaps Florida on defense, 8 or 9 guys were looking around, hands up in the air, basically shaking head. You, me, him. Do you have him? It was, and that was game 1 of the helmet communication.
Yes.
Somebody on that field had a coach talking to them in the helmet in Florida, and this is about 4 coordinators in a row. Are you telling me the last 4 defensive coordinators at Florida, do they teach the most intricate defense in the world? I can't believe that. What? But Miami defensively, they weren't doing this. And where and you and me, you got him. Who's got him? What? But Brent and Patrick can concur. Watching that game from the press box, there were many, many, many Miami offensive snaps where Florida had 5 or 6 heads looking at the sideline.
And that's
where do we find the right place? What, coach? Where at? Who? Me? You?
And that's why those Miami receivers were wide open.
Absolutely disastrous coaching performance by Florida, I think, from head to toe.
Yes.
On Saturday. Patrick, hang tight. I know you're in the car. If you need to get inside, whatever you need to do, let us know. We'll take good care of you. Brent Beaird's here. It is a Wednesday, busy Wednesday inside. It is happy hour. Kind of a rainy day outside. Get here.
Rainy day?
Yeah, kind of a rainy day. Enjoy some great food, Scratch Kitchen, and cold 29-degree draft beer. And, oh, by the way, did I mention the Twin Peaks girls are here? It's a Wednesday, the Young and Norvelle show right here on Action Sports Jacks.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The Action Sports Jax 24/7 network is streaming. I'm Stuart Weber, and I'm here to teach you a nice three-step process on how you can watch all your favorite programming from the Brent and Austin Show every weekday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or the Cup Date with me. It's fantastic. We talk NASCAR. It's a great time. Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. All right, first step, easy. Download the Action News Jax app. You probably already have it downloaded on your phone, so you might already have that one taken care of. Step 2, see that stack of pancakes up there? You click that stack of pancakes, and it's going to bring down step number 3, which is a full screen of all the different streams that you can click on, including the Action Sports Jax 24/7 stream. You click that, the video's rocking and rolling on your mobile device. You're watching all the shows you want to, and you're having a good time. You can also do it on your smart TV with the Action News Jax Now app. I do it on my Samsung TV at home. It's a great way to watch it on a nice, large screen for all the content. That's the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Hope you can find it.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 143-2579.
Oh boy, look at the rain, look at the rain, I think it's good rain as long as everybody is safe and you're on the road and you're driving safe as we welcome you back to a Wednesday edition. I like the rain. We need rain.
We do.
It's cooled everything off. Be safe out there, folks. Patrick Young, Brent Beaird, Terry Norvelle, and you. It's a Hump Day edition. We're, of course, at our Wednesday location. Double happy hour. Boy, they know how to do it here. Super, super menu. Great scratch food in the scratch food kitchen. The wonderful Twin Peaks girls. We're at Twin Peaks at the intersection of Atlantic and Kernan. Gentlemen, I wanted to revisit. Brent and I were talking during the break. Pat, I don't know if you could hear us. There's benefit to playing a college football game that mimics an NFL Monday night game, meaning you're the only game in town. It doesn't happen a lot where you're the only game in town, but it happens on Labor Day a lot of times.
Yes.
Labor Day night.
Yes.
And it doesn't happen a lot, but it can happen on week 0. Well, coincidentally, Brent Beaird and Patrick Young, Florida State had 2.
Sure did.
Basically, yes. Monday night, only game in town. I know the first game was a daytime, but that was the first game of the year at high noon in Dublin. Everybody watched that.
Yes.
College people watched it. NFL people watched it. It was a standalone. And then 2 nights ago, FSU had a back-to-back second game that was basically Monday Night Football. Labor Day night, all the games were completed. They were the only game in town. Everybody watched that game Monday night. Brent, Patrick, there's good in that because your program gets exposed. If you don't play well, there's bad in that.
Yes.
FSU's brand has taken a beating with those 2 standalone games that the nation watched.
Well, and the worst thing possibly about those 2 defeats, guys, they were both conference games.
Ooh. But Patrick,
you
get my point. It's one thing if you get the stage, and it just worked out the way. The first 2 FSU games this year in football were basically only game in town Monday night football games. Well, that's great, Patrick, if you play well and you look good. FSU played miserably, and they've looked terrible in 8 quarters of football. their brand has taken. Wasn't it just yesterday they were 13-0, and they were even before Travis got hurt against North Alabama, they were 13-0 early November for God's sakes, and their brand was on top of the mountaintop. Look at their brand right now, guys. Their brand has taken a beating.
It has
in 2 games over 8 months.
Let me say this about their brand. We can separate these two. FSU is still leaving the ACC.
Right.
This isn't that one bad season has nothing to do with that situation and hurting their brand at all. And people will still turn on TV to watch them. They're still one of the most watched teams anywhere. But the thing that really is difficult about all this is how you look at the transfer portal and how that saved them last year.
Yeah.
And how it's done virtually nothing for them this year, which means, and see, they got 11 transfers. And when you get that many transfers, I mean, basically, maybe 2 of them have helped them, and that's been it.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable, Patrick, how quickly the FSU football brand, it was early November. Literally, you count that off. That's 8, maybe 9 months. Early November, Travis hadn't gone down. He went down the week before the Florida game, I think, North Alabama.
Right.
Around Thanksgiving. FSU was 13-0. It looked like Mike Norvelle was the hire of all hires. They got him from a small school. They had a guy that might win the Heisman Trophy in Jordan Travis. It looked like they were going to go play in for a possible national championship. That brand has taken a tumble.
It sure has.
In that many months. I'm glad, Brent, you brought up the portal. I still don't know if there's enough data out there in terms of how should you handle the portal.
Right.
And I don't know if there's ever going to be one area that says this is how you handle the portal, because look at FSU and look at Clemson. They've both gotten off to horrific starts in the football season. They both handle the portal totally different, and neither way seems to work. FSU is heavy portal. Well, they're 0-2 and heading the wrong way. Clemson has done nothing with the portal. They barely competed in the second half. What's going on with the portal? I don't know which way you're supposed to go.
I think the best way with the portal would be if you can cherry pick and get 5 guys or less from the portal.
But you got to hit on those guys.
Yes. And you got to hit on them. Guys. You do. And the rest of them would be guys you develop from the high school ranks.
Yeah. Interesting. But, Patrick, you look at Clemson, you look at FSU, they do it totally into the spectrum, and neither end seems to be working right now. Yeah. It's
neither way. Neither way. Goodness, right?
It is definitely.
It's so much. It's so different than basketball, too. With basketball, I think you can find success with going heavy transfer portal. I think you can, but it can also be a disaster. And obviously, you can't neglect that there are going to be some special kids coming out of high school that can immediately be superstars. But for football, I think that's why we have that 3-year wait for those guys to develop before they can go pro, because it is a man's sport. It is completely the physicality, the discipline required, the intelligence, the football intelligence required to be elite. Like, just because, and that's why I love when Inky Johnson says this, for a lot of these kids, their talent might get them into the room, get them to the program.
Right.
And now, but do they have the character? The character, which is way more important, the work ethic,
no doubt,
the sacrifice. Because now with the amount of technology we have now with football, like, it can almost be a crux if it's not. I mean, it's useless if it's not getting used, right? If these guys aren't taking advantage. And then also, I think with Florida's issue was overthinking it, maybe relying on it a little bit too much. That's why the defense was so freaking confused. So many plays, man. That was something else.
Yeah, what a mess that was. They just didn't know where to line up. Brent, talking with Brent Beaird, who is dialed in as well as anyone with college football and basketball. Boy, I saw a bad headline today, and it was going to be a feel-good story, I thought, even though LSU lost the other night.
Yeah.
I thought LSU played well. And I was really proud to see and happy to see John Emery get 4 or 5 carries. He looked like the John Emery we thought coming out of high school.
He did. He did.
He's had some issues. Did I see horrible news from an injury standpoint from him?
Going for the year knee injury. Absolutely. And look, he was a man in that fourth quarter.
Really
Do you remember that?
Yeah, he really was. I don't remember one play where he went down.
I don't either. That's a really good point. I'm not real sure how it happened.
Yeah, what a shame. But I don't know if you saw it, Patrick. John Emery, 5-star Louisiana kid, had a lot of weight on his shoulders, too. He was a Louisiana guy.
He did.
Was going to go to LSU the whole time, went to LSU. He didn't burst on the scene, and I think the fans got on him because he wasn't Herschel Walker, carry number 1, but a lot of people aren't.
Yeah.
Hung around, thought about leaving, hung around.
Went to UCLA.
Went to UCLA for a year, came back, and really, I thought was about to hand LSU a big win.
Yes.
And got hurt in the fourth quarter. And I didn't see it go down.
Yeah. They've got depth. Their offensive line is really good. But that's real.
And now he's out. And now he's out for the season.
Out for the year.
Yeah.
ACL.
You really feel for a guy
what a shame, Patrick. What a shame. You and I touched on this, Brent, and we're going to take this to the top of the hour if that's okay, Zach. You and I touched on this. I know that there's nothing matters but the scoreboard in any sport. It's all about the scoreboard. My God, LSU, particularly in the second half, looked like they were going to put USC away 3 or 4 times, and they didn't do it.
No, they didn't do it. And look, this is something for all 3 of us. Yeah, one thing, Florida did it, Florida State did it, LSU did it. Your defense is playing great. You're right on the verge of getting your opponent off the field, and out of nowhere, you've got you've got a personal, and it's usually personal foul roughing the quarterback, and it extends the drive.
And they should
Florida
change
did that what twice?
They should.
Twice.
They should change the verbiage there, Patrick, to personal foul. Absolute stupid play against the right? Because generally it is you weren't making the play. The play was over. It's a nondescript. You couldn't back off. Take your anti-testosterone pills. Penalty, right?
Right.
That's what it is.
Absolutely it is.
That's what it is.
But look, when that quarterback's, and I get the fact that sometimes it's hard to stop. But these guys work on that during the season, and just right when that ball leaves that quarterback's hands, you've got to let him go.
Yeah, and was it the Gator game, and then I think the FSU game. There were a couple
twice in the Gator game. Yeah, and I wonder if the Gators could have hung around a little bit better.
Yeah,
Especially the first one led touchdown drive, and the second one was a scoring drive too, I believe.
Yeah. And the game opened. Florida takes the opening kickoff. They get a first down. They run 2 or 3 more plays, bogged down. Okay, they got a first down, bogged down, punt the ball to Miami. They get Miami in third down, and it's a stop.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
The roughing, the late hit, the penalty did not do the play. The play was done.
Yeah.
The play was over, and Pat, I nudged you on the shoulder. I go, that's a 4-point play. That's a 4-point penalty. Miami would have kicked the field goal and probably made it. They got a good kicker. But they get in the end zone. And Florida was fighting uphill, upstream the entire game.
Oh, yeah.
And Patrick will concur. I know, Brent, you weren't there, but you could probably tell the crowd was no factor.
No.
And Florida
That's a shame.
And the Gator football team did not make it. You've got to make the crowd a factor.
Yes, sure you
Would
do.
you agree, though, Pat? You and I talked up there in the press
I
box.
agree.
The crowd, Miami and Florida dictated that the crowd was no factor Saturday.
But you and I were in Gainesville last year for the Tennessee game.
Yep.
I'm not sure the crowd didn't win the game.
It might have won the game. It literally might have won the game for Florida last year.
Yes.
But the way Miami played and the way Florida didn't play, Miami induced absolutely no factor.
No.
Absolutely no. Hey, sweetie. Absolutely no factor at all.
Yeah,
at
agree.
all. We're coming up on the top of the hour, guys. We can get into this the second hour. We'll try and get some more Jaguar talk, but I like this too.
We got enough time for me to tell my story. Then
Go ahead.
I forgot to tease.
Go ahead.
So I go into the box that I got this hat. All right. It was a lady that she wanted me to meet her son. And
at the Gator
she wanted
game.
me to meet her son
At the Gator game Saturday.
at the Gator game. At the Gator game. The game was over at this point. We were still in the third quarter, but
you and I left at the third quarter.
Right.
Patrick and I got out of the press box, said no need to get home at 10 o'clock.
No.
So the lady says she comes in and there's 5 or 6 people in there. If you don't know how those press boxes go, not the press boxes, the for the fans, it drops down where there's 2 rows of seats and the glass is right in front of you. You can really see everything that's going out. And son, his name's Jeremy, I believe. He was sitting in that front row, watching the game, distraught as everybody in the orange and blue was. And he's about 25, 26, 27, 28, somewhere around there. So he's older. And his mom says, "Hey, Jeremy, Patrick Young's here to meet you." I don't give a
Oh, no. He wasn't happy with the Gators.
Here, let me get some money to give that kid. You got $20 off? Give that kid a raise. He said,
he was fired.
Hey, actually, I had a tape recorder in that same area. And Patrick, if I may correct you, and I'm sorry, he actually said, if it's not Terry Norvelle, I don't give a blankety blank. Who's here? Patrick, how'd you feel at that point, Pat? He said, all right.
I wasn't like his family and his mom, and everyone's making him feel so bad for the next 15 minutes, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so ashamed. This game just did it to me." And I'm like, "Dude, it's all right, man. You know,
I
got no hard feelings."
No matter how angry he got at anybody up there, that wasn't going to change that scoreboard.
But
that scoreboard don't lie.
Right? Exactly.
Scoreboard don't lie.
I'm curious if either one of you have gotten texts like I have from some friends that said, "Well, I'm done. I'm done for the season."
I love it.
Have you guys got one of those?
A million of them. Done. Never.
Florida State fans, they definitely are. Yeah, they're miserable.
Never watching Gator football again until they do this, till they do that.
Right.
It reminds me of way back. What was it? 6-7 years now, when all the flag kneeling stuff in the NFL.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Hey, I'm done with the NFL. I'll never watch another NFL game. They kneel, blah, 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 blah. And I just went, shut up. Hey, how many guys do you know that they might have not watched the following week's kickoff, but by the second quarter they're deep in the I'm done. I'll never watch NFL again. I'm done. They disrespected this and disrespected that, blah, blah. And I'm not saying what side you should be on.
Right.
But nobody quit watching the NFL.
No, absolutely not.
Right?
No.
They did not. We're up against the break. 2 minutes, Brent Beaird. Another shameful topic. We really haven't covered Miami's coaching staff. They did a great job. We covered that, thank goodness. The Georgia Bulldogs. They're so good they look bored.
Yeah.
And I've seen this with Alabama and Nick Saban.
Yes.
I've seen this with some of the great Spurrier teams, and they would play, the middling SEC. They'd be bored. Some of those Bowden teams against the SEC. Georgia will probably lose a regular. It doesn't matter. They're going to be in the playoffs and probably win it. I think Georgia will probably lose a regular season game because Georgia will beat Georgia. They look bored. They're so good, Brent.
Said that all along. I don't think there's any doubt about it. But
they toyed with Clemson.
Well, but here's the difference with Georgia. First half, close game. They go to halftime.
Yeah.
Look, Kirby. Now look, there aren't many coaches who can do this. But Pat, comment on this, please. There aren't many coaches who do this. They're afraid of Kirby. Okay, They were afraid of Saban. You don't have that much anymore. But these old school guys, that have really that they know how to win, and they basically and he told them at halftime, either you pick it up or at practice next week, you're going to regret it if you don't.
And Patrick, you and I didn't hook up. You might have been fighting traffic. I watched most of the first half of Georgia Clemson.
Yes.
Clemson did some dumb things.
They did.
They hung around.
Well, they sure did.
Clemson moved the ball. There was no score in the first quarter. But it was almost like Clemson played well. They played a little stupid football, but they played well.
Yeah.
They weren't physically beat in that game. But part of it was also Georgia. Ho-hum. Okay.
But would you say
Ho-hum.
they're still, Pat, would you say that at Georgia they still respect and frankly are scared enough of Kirby to where they're going to play hard?
I agree.
Is that fair?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and it should be. Should be that way.
I think
fear and love because you know that coach, he's not going to play games. He's not going to miss meat.
Oh no.
And I'm not so sure.
He's not a coach that's going to threaten. If he threatens, the promise. It's a promise.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah.
This is what's going to happen.
But are Gator players that way with Napier?
Not at all. And
I don't think so.
I don't know if I wouldn't replace, when you said Saban and Kirby, I might replace the word fear with respect.
Yes.
You feel like when Kirby walks into that, there's always, where you spoke to the Gator team, there's always that amphitheater where the whole team can meet.
Right.
And, Alabama's got one of those, Georgia. You get the feeling a bunch of coaches could walk up and the guys are still shucking and jiving and maybe throwing paper airplanes, if you get my point, and looking at cell phones. When Saban and or Kirby walk in,
yes,
right, it's sit up straight.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a respect thing. And Patrick, I think Brent hit it. I don't think many coaches have that, and I don't know how you get it or have it, but they got it.
Yes. Yeah,
and
I
agree. And I also think winning begot. What is it? Begat.
Yeah.
Winning begats this, and this begat. What is that?
And I think Coughlin had it.
Yes, he did.
In the early days here.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes, he did. Oh, hey guys, let's take a break. We're gonna. I want to come back and look at next week's college games. We can get some NFL stuff.
There's some
as
good
well.
ones.
Yeah, I'm pretty much off.
Well,
Saturday.
Terry, on our break here, Brent Martineau sent us some games that we're going to have to make some picks on. So he already sent it in the group text. So take a look at that on the break here and check that out, and we can talk about those 6 games.
Thank you, Patrick. We've got a situation with, obviously, our midday show. Obviously, our boss Brent Martineau, he and Austin do the midday show here. Austin and Brent's show, Brent and Austin at midday, and KC, one of our producers, has a Saturday show. We've got this show. We're going to do some fun. Patrick, I'll look for that. I'm looking forward, and we'll do it as a group.
Terry, I want you to make sure, Terry, the goal for us.
What's that?
It's to win.
Win. Well, hey, you're ahead. Patrick, in our first picks, Patrick is, what were you, plus $10?
No, I'm even.
Oh, yeah. Patrick went even. I lost $10.
Oh,
I'm down 10. I got 90 left.
Oh,
I put the most money on the game. I felt the most confident, and that saved me because my other 2 I lost.
All right, let's take a break, Pat. I'll try and round those games up, and we got to put our heads together. This is Team Young and Norvelle.
As Adrian said to Rocky, just win.
Just win, Rock.
Just win.
Hey, cut me, Mick, cut me. Hey, cut me, Mick. I can't, Rock. I'm gonna throw in the towel. No, don't throw in the towel. Just cut me, Mick. Just cut me. Hey, cut me, Pat.
He's a comedian, Pat.
You remember that?
He's a comedian. I remember that real well.
Hey,
yeah, that was good.
The trainer says it's like 14th round. I'm done, Rock. You're done. You gave it a good fight, Rock. I'm throwing it. You're going to cut it. Hey, just cut me, Mick. You can't see.
Now, you remember Mick was the penguin on Batman.
He was the
Do you remember that?
Burgess Meredith, a great actor. A great actor.
He truly was.
Hey, Rocky
said,
the trainer, Patrick, said, you can't see. You can't see, kid. I'm going to throw it. I'm fine, Mick. Just cut me. Just cut me, Mick. I'm good. And he cut him.
Speaking of, there is going to be a new Penguin series on HBO with leading actor Colin Farrell.
Really?
Can't wait for that. All right, we got to get some picks. Let's take a break. 1 down, 1 to go. Fun Wednesday edition from Twin Peaks.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
For over 20 years, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has been providing the highest level of orthopedic and spine care to patients throughout Northeast Florida. Now, we're making that same great care even more convenient with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Direct, a walk-in clinic where you can be seen for pain or injuries with no appointment needed. Staffed by orthopedic physicians and specialists, we offer everything from diagnosis and treatment to imaging and bracing, all with no appointment needed. For more information, hours, and locations, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms. Whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV, you can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%.
You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer.
You can schedule a test drive at NimnickBuickGMC.com, and while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
All right, everybody's abandoned me. Old Terry just sitting here alone. We got Andrew Carter checking in, or Adrian, or somebody. I'm here. That's fine. I'm fine. I'm abandoned. Patrick's gone. Brent Beard's gone. I think Zach's back. But you know what? That's fine. I'm abandoned, sitting right here at Twin Peaks. So I got all the Twin Peaks girls. Thank you.
There you go.
Zach,
that's literally all you need there.
But Zach, I got you. That's all that matters. I got you, babe. Sonny and Sheriff. I got you, babe. All right, so we got some picks. We've got 3 shows here on our network. We're very proud of our Action Sports Jacks network here from Action News Jacks, you know, CBS 47, Fox 30. Obviously, our show, we're Happy Hour. Myself, Patrick Young, Brent Beard, Zach, Casey produces. We got a lot of people here. But we're the Happy Hour show. Brent and Austin, you know, obviously Brent Martineau is our leader. He runs our network, and we need him as our fearless leader. But He's the enemy right now. Okay, Zach? He is the enemy. And Brent Martineau and Austin Lane, they're the enemy, if you break it down.
Okay.
They've got their show. Obviously, Casey Kurtz, producer, also show host. He's got his Saturday show, college show, football show on Saturday. So we've got these 3 shows, and we're going to start competing with each other. Brent Beaird sits down, and Zach, you're part of our gang, so we got to come up. We got 6 games every Wednesday that we're going to get out. And we got to pick them against Brent Martineau midday and Casey Saturday.
Yeah.
So they've sent it over. Here we go, guys. We got to come to an agreement. You ready? You ready, Patrick? I've got the 6 games.
I'm ready.
Come to agreement. All right, here we go. Game number 1. We got 3 college and 3 pro. We're going to pick. I'm assuming 3 and 3 every week. All right, guys. What do y'all think? Texas minus 7.5. So a little over a touchdown. They're minus. They are at Michigan, guys. What are your? We got to put this together and we'll make our pick. Brent, your thoughts? I'm leaning toward Texas and giving the points.
I think Texas wins. Let me just say that off the bat. I think the loss of C.J. Baxter has really hurt Texas.
The running back.
Look, Michigan's they're still good in Ann Arbor, but my thing is, guys, is can Michigan cover Isaiah Bond and those Texas receivers who are among the best in the nation?
So what are you thinking? I'm leaning toward, Patrick, I don't want to hear, I'm leaning toward taking Texas and giving the points. I think Texas will win it on the road more than 7.5. What are your thoughts, Brent?
I could buy that.
You could buy that?
Yeah.
Patrick Young, what say you? Zach Rothrock, what say you? What are you guys thinking?
Same.
Texas?
I'm in alignment.
Okay, you guys comfortable?
Yeah, I also like Texas. I want to throw in that it's because Michigan has lost their real MVP, Mr. Connor Stallion. So they don't have that little nerd to tell them what all the plays are.
Oh, the sideline guy.
That?
Yeah, so we're going to go in on Texas, okay? So we need Texas to win by 8.
Right.
8 or more.
Okay.
I'm fine with that. Okay,
Yeah.
we're down. All right, Pat, I'll let you explain first. Tennessee, the Vols, they're feeling good. They got Nico at quarterback. The Vols think it's a big year. The Vols think they may be one of those final 12 standing. They are on the road Saturday night at North Carolina State. Dave Doran, I've always think's a pretty good coach.
He is.
At night, NC State plays pretty good football. Tennessee, Patrick, first thought, the Vols giving 7.5 on the road, national TV at night. Thoughts? We got to talk this through, boys.
I think I like NC State not to win. I think I like Tennessee to win, but I don't think Tennessee is going to win by 8, 8
Zach?
or more.
Thoughts,
So
Zach?
I think NC State.
I think I kind of like NC State. I feel like they got a good run game. Tennessee might not be ready for the road. Man, it honestly is tough. I mean, I think I like NC State to win outright, though, honestly.
Really?
Oh,
potentially.
whoa,
Potentially.
Brent Beaird.
First
Tennessee, what do you
real
think
true
of the
road
Vols?
game for Nico.
First true road game for
Yeah.
Nico.
It is.
Played in a bowl game, but this is a road game. Nighttime, NC State. That place can get stirred up a
It
little
can.
bit. Carter Finley.
Well,
At night, anyway.
yeah, Tennessee can
Damn
run.
you, Brent Martineau. Damn you for this game.
Tennessee can run with Dylan Sampson. That's impressive. But look, the guy who could win this game for Tennessee is Pierce kid,
The defensive end.
the rush in who may be the
Are
number
you
one
leaning
draft
toward
choice.
Tennessee?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think Tennessee wins this game by 10 or more.
Guys, I'm leaning. We might have a split here, and Zach, you can toss a coin. I'm leaning toward Brent Beaird giving away a touchdown and a half a point. Tennessee winning bigger.
Hey, I'll tell you what. No one is more studied for the college football season than Mr. Brent Beaird. He sounded like he was extremely confident in that, and I find it hard to go against Brent Beaird.
Patrick, are you okay with letting Brent? I'm leaning.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with
Brent,
that.
I'm leaning with you. I think Tennessee wins by more than. So let's put Tennessee down.
Look, if Tennessee had Joe Milton,
I wouldn't go Tennessee. I don't care if he's starting.
I wouldn't either.
And by the way, Zach, you're a great producer. Can you hit that button? Because you know Martineau and Lane and Casey Kurtz, You know they're all watching and listening. I don't want them copying our picks, okay? Can you black them out or something? All right, so
I can do that.
Brent, I'm with you. I think the old men win here. We're going with Tennessee. All right, boys. Zach, I'll let you lead off. Deion Sanders, the Colorado Buffaloes, they're -7. No, they should be getting 7, right?
I would imagine.
Yeah, I'm sorry. They should be getting 7. Do I got that right? Look that up. Brent Martineau sent it out. I think I've written that down wrong. No, yeah. Colorado is +7 at Nebraska. The Red Shirts, Matt Rule, year number 2. I think that's a
Go Big Red.
Big crowd, Nebraska. The freshman quarterback. I know Shadir Sanders is the quarterback of record.
Yeah.
Brent Beaird, I'll let you talk us through this first one. Colorado, Deion and the boys on the road. I think Lincoln's going to be stirred up, and they're ready for blood. Your thoughts?
Can they, or are they going to be able to win it? I mean, the problem Nebraska has is that they can't win close games, but maybe this is when they
play in a lot of close games.
They sure have.
They sure will.
Yeah. I mean, I would go with Nebraska, but you three help me with this.
All right, Patrick, your thoughts. Nebraska at home.
My fear is just I don't think Colorado's line has really gotten any better on either side.
I'm with you.
And I know this game means a lot for Nebraska.
Sure.
This might be their only opportunity to really get themselves in the national media for a big win. And who doesn't want to shut Deion up as much as he look? And it's hard, not to make this an emotional pick, because I want Deion to do well, but it's he gets on your nerves after a while, man. Right?
Yeah.
He truly does.
Yeah.
So what is it? 7.5?
7. Colorado's giving up getting a straight touchdown and extra points. 7.
I mean, I'm okay with leaning over to Nebraska.
Okay.
I think Colorado still wins, but maybe they win by a field goal.
Zach, your thoughts?
Yeah, I definitely like Nebraska. I mean, it's really early in the season. I think it's week 2. But when I think of Nebraska football, I think of their really tough up front, physical football team. I would imagine this Nebraska team resembles a team like that. And that's the type of team Colorado does not want to play that type of game. I think they can get punched in the mouth early and then have to play from behind.
I'm going to go with everybody. I think we are consensus here. I think this is a big, big game for Matt Rule and his new culture, Nebraska. I think this will be one of the bigger. Maybe when we look back, it won't be a big win, but this will get Nebraska more publicity than they've had in a long time.
It will.
I think the crowd's going to be stirred. I think it's going to feel like old Nebraska, and I'm with you guys. I say we go with Nebraska -7. I think they beat them up when it's over.
Yeah.
All right, so our college games are in. We've got Texas, Tennessee, Nebraska. All right, boys, the NFL. We'll hold the Jaguars. Rams at the Lions. The Lions are giving up 3.5. Rams at the Lions, boys. Where do we go here?
Man, that was such a good game last year in the playoffs. Gosh, that was such a good game last year in the playoffs.
That's great, but where do we go, boys?
How much is a home field advantage in Detroit?
Yeah. Boy, the Lions were good last year, man.
They really were.
They were good. I say we take the home team and give away 3.5. Zach, what are your thoughts? Zach, talk.
Is this 3.5? Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, they play a really physical brand of football. It's in Detroit. They're going to be open a week. They're going to be ready.
All right, you guys okay? We'll take the Lions giving away 3.5 points. I like that Lions team. They're physical. I thought they were going to go a little further than they did last year.
Agreed.
I thought they had that playoff game won. All right, so we're down with the Lions giving away 3.5. The second NFL game, Cowboys at the Browns. The Browns are giving away 2.5 points at home. Zach Rothrock, what say you? Browns, what do they got? Cowboys, they're always a mess. There's always something going on with the Cowboys. Opening game, Cowboys on the road.
The Browns are laying 2.5 at home. That'll be the Tom Brady's first game commentating for the record.
Can't wait for that.
Really?
I'm gonna go with I'll go with Cleveland. Cleveland's got a really good pass rush up front. They can get after it. Dallas is always in. I mean, I don't know who their running back is going to be. They got a few. They got issues. CeeDee Lamb hasn't practiced. I'm think they're going to come out to a slow start. So I'll get Cleveland.
Zach thinks we should go take the Browns and give away some points. Patrick, you got a feeling on this?
Well, I like that Zach brought up point. The points that he brought up weren't the ones I was thinking about. I just don't think Deshaun Watson has shown anything since he's been a Brown yet. And but Zach makes a great point. The best defense in the NFL last year. I don't know how much I trust the receiving core of the Cowboys outside of CeeDee Lamb. Running back. Who you got? They bringing Zeke back out there? Old man Zeke at this point?
Rico Dowdle's going to be the guy mostly.
He's back in Dallas, isn't he? Is Zeke back in Dallas?
I can lean towards Cleveland. I think because this is an important game. Important game for Dak to get his money. Important game for Deshaun to prove that he deserved his money.
True.
Thoughts on Browns at home?
And Zach said it. I'll go with the best defense is Cleveland's. I'll add toward them for that.
I will. I'll concur with you guys. Let's take the Browns as a cumulative team, giving away 3.5. They'll win by.
And it's not emotional that I just hate the Cowboys too. It wasn't.
Okay. We knew that.
They had nothing to do with it.
We knew that. We knew that. All right. Final game here. Battle of the state of Florida. You got the Jaguars getting on the bus, really, and just.
Why is he making us do that?
Heading down. Hey, I didn't pick them. Jaguars heading down to Miami. Right. I guess they'll jump on a quick little 51-minute flight and head down to Miami. Jaguars, great start last year, 8-3 on the road this year. Dolphins, Tua with the big contract. The two slot receivers have held themselves out just to be healthy. They're not really injured. The Dolphins at home giving up 3.5. Who wins? Who wins points? Where do we go?
3.5.
Brent Beaird, your thoughts?
I don't think the Jaguars can protect Trevor, A, and B, I don't think their secondary can contain all the weapons the Dolphins have got.
I concur with everything you said. I don't think.
And the thing is, too, with that, guys, if A-Chain comes back doing what he was doing last year, oh my God!
Oh yeah. The Texas A&M player.
He's a third slot guy.
He is.
He's a third Waddle. He's a third.
A-Chain can take a kickoff back all the way.
Oh yeah.
He was unbelievable last year.
So Zach, I think that's three of us that we like the Dolphins giving away points. I think the Dolphins are just going to win straight up.
I do too.
By more than 3.5. Zach, are we wrong? I mean, we're a democracy here, my man.
I probably would have taken the Jaguars, but I don't believe them enough to push back against all three of you guys. The Jalen Ramsey is potentially going to miss the game with a hamstring. They've also got their pass rusher Jalen Phillips, who's got an Achilles injury. This is both from the Dolphins defense. So, I mean, honestly, my favorite pick bet of the whole weekend would be the over in this game. I think the over is definitely going to hit. But yeah,
we'll go back. Let's start again. Let's start everything over again.
Hang on, we're not the over/under's on the table. I'm just saying that the little bonus pick. That's what I would pick. But yeah, I don't like the Jaguars confident enough to overturn you guys. So let's go.
Let's keep that. Hey, let's keep that note there, Terry, so we can badmouth Zach next week.
I'm gonna put a little.
So we can badmouth.
I'm very confident the over's hitting in that game.
We're gonna badmouth them real good.
All right.
So we are taking Miami.
What is it at?
It's in Miami.
Yeah, it's in Miami.
What's it at? Like, is it like 40 points, 42?
I don't know about that.
Higher than that, actually.
So we're taking Miami, giving away 3.5 when it's over. I think the Dolphins win by a touchdown to 10 points when it's over. There's some kind of rule. The NFL says you can't win by more than 10, I think, right?
Yeah,
the NFL rules say every game can only be 10 points or less, and every game at some point in the third quarter, every NFL game has to be a score of 17-14.
And we're going to make you like it, too.
Right. Isn't that right, Patrick? Every NFL game, that's one of the things I don't like about the NFL. Every game is the same. They're all, college, you got all this different styles and they kick off.
I think the Jags would beg to differ when they played the Bucs last year, but
yeah, you're right. All right, boys. So we're taking in college, the Longhorns, the Volunteers, and the Cornhuskers over Michigan, NC State, and Colorado. And we are taking the Lions, the Browns, and the Dolphins over the Rams, the Cowboys, and the Jaguars. The Jaguars. All right, boys. It don't mean much, but we got to win. We've got to win, boys.
Absolutely.
It don't mean much, but we got to win, Patrick Young. Are you happy, Patrick? You got a dumbfounded look on your face, Patrick.
Oh, I was daydreaming. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Are you happy? Are we good? Are we good?
Yeah. I was daydreaming. We're pretty hard.
Yeah.
Now.
Okay. What was her name?
Oh, no.
What?
What was her name? What was her name? You're daydreaming about a friend of yours.
What's the name of your girl from the Lionel Richie?
You shut your filthy mouth. Shut your filthy mouth. Don't bring in any of my...
There's no Sex Panther involved in this, is it?
What was her name? Do you remember her name, Brent?
I don't know what you're talking about. La, 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 la.
Well, I'm not able to talk over him.
All right,
that's a problem.
All right, let's get out of here. We've got 30 minutes left. We'll come back. We got a lot more, Brent. I think you got some news and notes. Been a busy Wednesday. And let's wave goodbye, Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Casey. I know y'all are all watching and cheating and copying.
Cheating.
So have a good
I think
pick.
Austin's in Vegas. Austin's in
Is he?
Vegas, I think.
Yeah, he's watching right now. So that's fine. We'll go first. Hey, we're fine.
Stealing our picks.
You can copy the smart guys. That's fine. Let's take a break here. Half an hour to go. It's a fun Wednesday. They're all fun from Twin Peaks. Back after this quick timeout.
For those dealing with pain from a sports injury, arthritis, or spine condition, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists offers innovative new non-surgical options. Our regenerative medicine treatments, including platelet-rich plasma and other regenerative treatments, use your body's own restorative cells to aid in treating injuries. These procedures are performed in our offices and typically require minimal downtime. If you want to get back to doing what you love, our regenerative treatment options may be right for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
It's a new logo, new branding. With Bolt City Heating and Air, It's an old-school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville. It's hot, Florida in the summer. You can't do much to avoid it, but you can keep cool with Bolt City Heating and Air. It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years, and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bolt City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who is coming to your house. You know they will be well trained, and they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at BoltCityAC.com. Stay cool while it gets hot. Bolt City Heating and Air can help. Don't get caught sweating all summer. BoltCityAC.com. And they have financing to help. New systems starting at $110 a month and $50 off any repairs. Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bolt City Heating and Air at BoltCityAC.com. Homegrown in your hometown.
Oh, look at Jack's Vegas. A little cloudy, a little rainy. We welcome you back here on a Wednesday. Been saying hi during the break to all of our friends at Twin Peaks, the wonderful Twin Peaks girls. Scratch Kitchen, pumping it out. Boy, I always say this. I don't say it enough. If you come to Twin Peaks and you order an entree, you better be hungry. I mean, they bring you a lot of food. Their entrees are entrees. This is not just some little thing. Mm-hmm. They've got every little fun little, what do you call it, appetizers and stuff. Mm-hmm. But if you're hungry, if you think you're hungry, you order an entree, they're going to bring some food here. We're saying hi to the girls, and they take great care of you. Twin Peaks, tremendous menu, double happy hour every day, early happy hour, late night happy hour for people in the business. They do it right. It's just a fun atmosphere, tremendous TV setup. I was going to say, we saw that shot of downtown Jacksonville, kind of cloudy. Brent Beard's here. I'm Terry Norvelle. You can feel it. The season's changing.
Yes.
Now, we'll
thank God, yes.
We'll have some more hot days, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
And it was warm earlier today, but you can feel it. You can feel
it. It's getting darker earlier.
It really is. It really is. And fall is pushing its way here. Mm-hmm. Tomorrow, the NFL officially starts, I guess, right? Are there a couple games tomorrow?
Yeah.
Zach, are there a couple NFL games tomorrow? Or Pat, anybody? Couple NFL games tomorrow? Oh, Pat, we don't have your volume. We don't have your volume, but I think there's two, right?
Well, there's one tomorrow, but then Friday is the Packers and Eagles from Brazil.
Friday. They have a Friday.
Yeah. Right.
And have y'all heard what a debacle the game in Brazil?
They won't let them out of the hotel? Is that what it is?
There are areas they can't go to, they've been told, because of trouble. They tell the players don't go out of the compound. Don't take your cell phone in visible sight. What the NFL doesn't miss a lot. What's the benefit of being in a really hostile area like this?
Yeah.
And I know Brazil, I'm sure, beautiful areas, but there's some lawlessness, I think, as I understand it, in Brazil.
Yes.
Man, Pat, you ever been there? I've never been to Brazil. I'd love to go, but I don't know if I want to go to those places.
No, right.
I think Ryan Lochte did. He went in Brazil and got in trouble.
I think
during the Olympics a while back. No, it's not for me.
Yeah. Brent Beaird, during the break we were talking here. We got a little under a half hour here on a Wednesday edition. Tomorrow we'll be down at Sliders Oyster Bar. Hope you can join us in Neptune Beach or catch us on the stream right here as you are. DJU, Florida State.
Yes.
5-star quarterback on the bench. A guy in between him that's been around, but I don't think Brock Glenn is a factor. FSU's 0-2. Not the toughest schedule. Probably some wins on that schedule. But they're not going to have the season they were hoping to have. Where do you go? What do you do if you're FSU and Chrome? I can't pronounce his name.
Right, yeah.
What do you do
the third string guy?
What do you do at the quarterback position with FSU?
Well, the first thing he's got to decide is how far does he want to go with DJU. I mean, here's the other thing, guys. You know good and well. Now, they're not going to talk about this and admit it. They've watched him in spring and before spring. They've got to know what he can do and not do. But at this point, Terry and Pat, you understand how limited he is. I mean, do you continue with this, hoping it will get better, or do you just say, look, we need to go to one of the younger guys and build for the future
Yes.
Because we've realized that DJU can only go so far.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh my gosh, I saw something so crazy. Oh, great job. The biggest drop off from Jordan Travis to DJU was Trevor Lawrence to DJU, or the other way around.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it was a huge drop from when he got replaced, and same deal. I'm messing it up, but it's hilarious.
We see what you're saying.
Yeah, I saw it too. You're right.
We see what you're saying. We see definitely what you're saying. And DJU, I mean, you hate to bury the kid, but sometimes you just are what you are.
Yeah.
I
don't know if he played inferior high school competition. Well, we've seen enough. He doesn't have it.
No.
Right?
No,
he doesn't
he
have
really
it.
Doesn't.
Maybe he was in a high school league where he was the bigger, stronger guy.
Probably.
The other thing about athletes, there's not a machine you can take an athlete at 16, 17, 18 and say, okay, we're going to prick your finger, get a dab of your blood, put it on underneath the microscope or in a test, and we can tell you've got 5 more years of getting better. You've got 3 more years of getting better. You are as good as you're ever going to get. Some guys at 17 years old are as good as I don't care who the coach is. I don't care who the weight training staff is. Some guys, and DJ may want to be maybe one of these guys, he might have been as good as he was ever going to be as a 16-year-old athlete.
Somehow.
And you just don't know that.
No, somehow he won 11 games at Clemson.
Yeah.
But he had I think he had a better supporting cast around him, which is what happened. But look, all 3 of us know this. They've got and I won't be at all surprised if Memphis beats them by 2 or 3 touchdowns.
If FSU opens up 0-3, Memphis, where Mike Norvelle came from, routes them. It is a long season in Tallahassee.
It is.
Conversely, at Florida, what do you do at Florida? I don't think Billy Napier, even if they were to miraculously win 7 games out of the blue, 8 games, I don't think you can keep this. I think the marriage is broken. I think both sides need to divorce. With that said, if you're Florida, do you try to have a absolute splash hire right now, or do you look at your program and go, we ain't gonna get a splash hire until we stabilize the program? Do you hire for the next 5 years to stabilize? And that brings in a Kerwin Bell. That brings a couple guys that say, hey man, I would rather go out and try to get the home run hire when my program is stable, because a lot of people aren't going to look at Florida right now. They don't want the rebuild.
No.
What do you do if you're Florida? It's a tough call.
It is. It's a very tough call.
But do you make a move? Do you think Florida and Napier stay married?
Well, here's the thing. The 2 names you hear about this are Lane Kiffin, but again, I caution folks to go back and look at that article from ESPN about Lane being settled down and wanting to stay at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
With his family. The other name is Jedd Fisch, who is at Washington, but he just got there. And do you leave Washington to come to Florida? I mean, it's an SEC school.
And I just wish, this doesn't mean anything, Patrick, and you can weigh in as well. I wish Jedd Fisch, the name, had more panache.
I know, right?
I mean, I don't right now. The name Jedd Fisch, I know. I can't conjure him up in my mind.
In the industry,
I don't have a mental picture of what a Jedd Fisch is. Maybe the greatest coach in the history, but I don't know if he's got. And if he works out, he works out. I think Florida needs a splash hire. Can they get a splash hire right now, or do they need a bridge?
Bring him back.
But do they need a bridge? Do they?
Well,
I don't
what
know.
Patrick's talking about is that is a rumor, and we'll catch it. Like, did you see this, Pat?
Yes.
On Twitter today, the rumor was Urban thinks he can win 9 games this year, and he wants to come back immediately. Now,
That would be a splash.
If that's true, I would take him.
Well.
Now, what do you do about a staff? I mean,
good question.
Do you hold staff? Does staff hold? Do they start looking for another job? Do you bring in staff? If you bring in staff, that means you're bringing somebody that's not coaching right now, I think.
No,
how,
we're not.
How unprecedented would that be?
And again, we're not saying this is going to happen, but it's out there, and you can't ignore it. But look, here's my thing with this. I don't think Urban needs to coach again in his life.
There you go.
Right. Unless he wants to make up for Jacksonville.
Urban everywhere, and follow this out, guys. Everywhere Urban has gone, Urban has basically left the organization in shambles, whether it be Florida or whether it be Ohio State or whether it be here in Jacksonville.
Would Florida say, we know your shambles history, but everywhere you've been, you've also won double-digit games multiple years.
I know.
We'll trade that out for 5 years, and we'll take our chances. That, without an illness or a death, unfortunately, in the college ranks, a guy like Urban Meyer getting hired during the season and taking over is next to unprecedented. I've never even heard of that unless there's a death, right?
Yeah.
Have you heard?
No. I mean, that's just something that really doesn't happen. But I mean, again, it's out there, and I mean, does that necessarily mean if he came that they win 9 games? There's no certainty of that.
I don't think they would win that.
They're trying to make it sound like if he just you input him over Napier right now, like he would do it right away.
And I don't believe that. I don't think Urban Meyer with Nick Saban on his staff and Vince Lombardi and Don Shula would win. I don't.
I don't think.
I will say this: there are only a couple guys out there. Urban Meyer's one, Nick Saban's one. To a degree, I think Lane Kiffin is one. There's only a couple guys out there that I don't think recruiting would be hard because the players would come to those guys.
Right.
Urban Meyer, with the rules in place now, with the portal transfer rules in place, Urban Meyer, the players would come. I don't think he'd have to get on a plane very often. The players would find Urban Meyer. If Nick Saban came back to college football, I don't think Nick Saban would ever have to get on a plane. The players would find him.
Well, they would.
I think Urban Meyer, the players would find. Urban Meyer, I think, would have a big-time roster by next year.
But would you want,
with the rules now?
If you're the University of Florida, would you want that? Would that be a public relations debacle for them right now? Having to deal and look, Terry, you brought
any more than the current public relations debacle. I don't know.
I get it.
I
get it. I really do.
Right.
But look, Terry mentioned this a few minutes ago, and this is worth looking at. Florida right now has a reputation, whether it's earned or not, of every 3 to 4 years changing coaches, and at some point, is that just the way the climate is today?
That's tough to have that.
Or how do you overcome that?
That is a tough thing to hire to.
It is. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's a tough thing to hire to. They blow out every 5 years.
But if they can rebound and win 6-7 games, I mean, would Gator fans feel any better going to the end of the year than they are right now?
And Pat, if the Gators carved out 6 or 7 wins and Strickland and the new president or the existing president and whoever, they get in front of a podium in December and go, hey, the plan's still in place. He just won 6 or 7 games. He's back. I don't think that's the right move. I think they need to split up. Now, the one saving grace I could see him doing, him being Napier, if you win 7 games, December rolls around, give a State of the Union of the program, maybe a bowl game, maybe not. He says, okay, I think we do need some changes. Sometimes you need different set of eyeballs. I'm bringing in a new offensive coordinator.
Yes. Yeah.
Would that placate enough?
It would help.
Yeah. I could see him trying to do that and getting another year.
It would help.
Can't do that with 3 wins, though.
No, Pat, will that help? Will that be enough if he brought in a new offensive coordinator at the end of the year? Would that help? Would that pacify your feelings and your friends' feelings who are Gator fans, or would it not?
Our feelings are destroyed.
Yeah,
we're emotionally a wreck.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I think, I mean, it'll satiate for a moment, but you've already got, how it is, man. There's like, people are so quick to give up on the coach so fast.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
Like
And
without any grace for a redemption.
And then, the first drive of the first game, which, by the way, I think is in Miami next year.
Yeah.
The first drive of the
That's comforting.
Yeah, the first drive of the first game next year, if Florida faces 4th and 6 and they have to punt, well, all he did was go out to get another coach. They're still same old, I don't know. It's a tough call. I think.
Well, Cam Ward won't be there next year, so that's a plus.
We think with the way college football, there seems to be the guy that scored the first touchdown the other night was in his 9th year.
He was the tight end.
9th year.
McCormick.
I just and I hope I'm wrong. I hope this turns out. But as old as I am, Patrick and Brent Beaird, the coaches that I've seen on the programs that we follow, the Georgias, the Floridas, the Florida States, when the sitting coach gets belligerent and he gets out of character belligerent, which it's out of character for Napier, I've seen it. To me, it's over when they get belligerent. And he got belligerent the other day.
No.
And that was way out of character for him.
Right. Now the reality is if you can get a Dan Lanning, you do it.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
But how many Dan Lannings are around right now that you could get?
Man.
I mean, you don't go get you don't get Jeff Lebby in his second year.
No. You don't go get again. What does Florida want to be? I think you're spinning your wheels if you go get the Louisiana Tech or whatever, Louisiana Lafayette or wherever it came from, level guy, and you're trying to hit a home run. You could hit a home run,
right?
But I think they've missed on that. They've missed on the McElwains who never had real true head coaching.
Right.
They've missed on
Muschamp.
They've missed on this guy.
Yeah.
What do you want to be, first of all?
And
I always say this. Florida, if you're running the University of Florida, and at some point there's a final P&L, profit and loss sheet, for the whole freaking university. If you're running that thing, if you're one guy or a committee, there's nothing in stone that says to make the P&L work, you have to have a winning big-time football program. The Vanderbilt check from the SEC is the same amount as the Alabama check from the SEC.
It is.
People at Florida may go, the P&L's still working, boys.
But
do they want to be big-time football? I don't know.
I agree. But look, here's a decision maker with this too, Terry. If you've got Ole Miss in December and there are 30,000 people in the stands because they've just had it.
Yeah.
And at that point, you may not have a choice.
And, I know Gator Nation is a proud group.
It is.
Gator Nation,
supportive.
Gator Nation is supportive, and they've rolled to Gainesville over the last guys. It's been 7 or 8 years. It's been 7 or 8 years. They haven't been falling out of the stadium. That stadium has been pretty full for a long time. That's not going to always happen. At some point, aren't you going to beat up your fan base enough to where you're sitting there and it's common to have 51,000 in that 88,000 seat?
Would a Kerwin Bell create? Would Kerwin move the needle at all?
Well, that's where I go, guys. Do we want to stabilize, or are we trying to hit a home run? If you're trying to, let's hit a home run. Kerwin's not the guy.
Right.
Kerwin would be the guy if my entire thought process said, the people I believe in, the people that help me make decisions, they go, we can't hit a home run right now. We're not in a position to hit a home run. let's stabilize. Kerwin would be my first call probably. I'd go to Kerwin and say, Kerwin, you're 60 years old. He's my age. I know Kerwin. I worked with Kerwin at JU. Kerwin, we'll sign you to a 10-year. We'd like to get 5 to 7. We need to get to winning 8 or 9 games. 8 or 9 games. 8 or 9 games. And then Kerwin, we're not doing this for 20 years. You don't want to do this.
Right.
But they've got it. The worst thing is if down in Gainesville, they've got mixed signals.
Yes.
Some of them say we want to be big-time football, and some of them say no. We're fine. We're paying the bills.
Yeah.
We're not paying 10, 11, 12 million for a coach.
Right.
I don't know where they're at.
If you could get Mike Gundy, would you do that?
No, I wouldn't.
Would that move the needle at all?
I would get Gundy for a stabilizer. He wouldn't be my I think Gundy could come in and win 8 or 9 games.
Yeah.
But they're not winning 8 or 9 games now.
No, they're not.
The Florida program, as much as people hate to admit it, is not in a good place right now.
No.
It is not the Florida program of Terry Norvelle 20 years ago.
Yeah.
It is not that program.
Well, here's how
and it's not viewed as that program anymore.
Here's how the playoffs change some of this, though. If you could win, if you're 9-3 in the SEC, you're probably getting in the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's how this changes it right now.
I would agree.
And if they were 9-3 and got in the playoffs, even losing the first game 2 or 3 years in a row, would that satisfy Florida fans?
Yeah.
I think it would.
I think it would. Now, this brutal schedule, it's not going to lighten up very often. They play in a great conference. So, I mean, I've peeked ahead.
And last year, they just switched locations, right?
I've peeked ahead. Next year's tough. They open up at Miami. Right? They open up at Miami, I think, next year.
Yeah.
It's a return game.
Right.
And, they've got still the LSUs and the Texases and Georgia and hell, I hate to be Debbie Downer. FSU, they open up at home with Alabama.
They sure do. Yeah.
Alabama rolls.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Let's take a break. We'll come back and wrap this thing up. It's been a fun one here. They are always fun. We're at our Wednesday home. You know it by now. Twin Peaks at the intersection of Atlantic Boulevard and Kernan. Back after this quick timeout on Action Sports Jacks.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
For over 20 years, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has been providing the highest level of orthopedic and spine care to patients throughout Northeast Florida. Now, we're making that same great care even more convenient with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Direct, a walk-in clinic where you can be seen for pain or injuries with no appointment needed. Staffed by orthopedic physicians and specialists, we offer everything from diagnosis and treatment to imaging and bracing, all with no appointment needed. For more information, hours, and locations, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%.
You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer.
You can schedule a test drive at NimnickBuickGMC.com, and while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
Hey, we've got just enough time to say, well, goodbye. Thanks so much for you guys hanging out with us on a Wednesday. And thanks to our Wednesday home. There's Miss Stephanie and the entire Twin Peaks staff for having us here. We enjoy it. We'll get back together tomorrow at Sliders in Neptune Beach. Please join us for happy hour, 4 to 6, the Young and Norvelle Show. Have a great day, everybody.